The issue is I keep doing and trying and trying and trying, and the numbers aren't coming, but I want to do this full time. I want to build a career off of this. Even just if I could do social media on a bigger scale, that would just give me so much freedom as well.
Welcome back to Stay Independent, a space for independent artists to find tangible and actionable ways to grow their career. Today, we're doing another episode of Artist Content Coaching. Day to day, I have the privilege of helping artists create content strategy. So we're taking what I've learned from the last 5 years and bringing it into a strategy audit session for an artist who's preparing to release her debut EP. This is Ashley Autumn. She'd like to tour the country in 3 years, and she'd like to have 500,000 monthly listeners in 5 years. This is a high-stakes content coaching session. Everyone I do is high stakes because if she can't connect with you through content, she may never reach these goals, but more importantly, her message may never reach you. You, the audience, has the choice of deciding whether she has a message that is honest, compelling, easy to understand. It's my job to help her find and shape that message, then build a platform with content around those ideas. So it sounds like you've tried a bunch of trends. Before we hopped on, you said you hated what you were doing.
I did a lot of trends in 2023. I hated it. I jumped into more doing my own thing in 2024 with some success, more engaged followers and fans, but not nearly as much like on the numbers side. And now I'm just kind of like completely back to like plateau. And I also, the important thing is I did live streams all the time. And I was getting 15, like I got like at least 1,000 views, if up to like 10,000 a night on average. And I've built an incredible fan base through that. Happy to talk about it on the air. But the problem is then like all of a sudden the algorithm just loved me, but then I'm doing the same thing, but then it was down to like, maybe I would have 3 to 10 people in the room at any point. And so I stopped doing them eventually because it just was like the time, like my time was worth versus what I was doing. Yeah. It wasn't really worth it at that point. And I was just burned out. It was the same. Yeah. It was the same people every week and I love them, but I was just like, I want to offer you something new and I'm not. So I stopped. Yeah. I might do it again, but I needed to give myself the time to experiment. And I felt like TikToks are evergreen. People can watch them anytime versus happening to be live at that time.
So some of the trends you tried: serenading guys on my college campus.
Yes.
Singing to strangers at my local park. Guess the song with strangers.
Yeah, guess the song with strangers. Finish the lyric was another one I would do.
Was that also with strangers?
No, that one was one where it was like sing a song with the word "this" in it, and then I would just do a cover on the spot with that word.
Okay, I remember that.
Yeah, I think it was trend. That. And then
how did you feel doing that? Like,
which one?
How did you feel about your content, about the audience that you were building?
At that time, I was a little indifferent to it. Like I felt it wasn't related to my original songs. It wasn't related to who I am as a songwriter and as a person. It was more me doing things more on like the entertainment side versus like I want to be on the motivational, the inspirational side, like the vulnerable, sharing my life with people and connecting with and being honest with where I'm at and, reminding people that they're not alone in what they're going through. That kind of that's the sort of thing. And I think on the archetype quiz, I came back with caregiver or something like that, which is exactly kind of where I want to be. Yeah. And I think those things were like, it just felt more like I was performing. And I want to more be like a friend, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was excited to talk to you, after looking at the content that you had done, because I mean, you really were putting yourself out there, and we've seen, there are always creators that pop up that, there's a guy in town, I can't remember his name, but he was doing the singing to strangers.
Will Cullen?
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
That was the exact inspiration. That's the one I'm happy to go out again. Like if that's a part of the strategy, if I need to go out and talk to strangers again, I'm happy to do it. It's just the one thing that I did that I just don't want to do again is to like go out in a public space someone who doesn't like, not even that they don't want to be bothered, but I just like, people aren't there to like, for me to sing at them. Like, I don't want to like walk up to someone in a coffee shop and like ask if I can sing to them. It's like, if there's a way to invite them to me or something where there's some incentive, the thing I hated most was like tapping someone on the shoulder, asking them if they could be in a TikTok and for me to sing for them. And like half the time I was so nervous, I wasn't even performing my best. But that was the one thing that I was like, I don't know how Will Cullen did it. If he just, and if half of them, I don't know if they were staged, because I was like, I don't know how.
Yeah. So just to be clear too, for the audience, like you were working with someone, and you know, for better or worse, they were kind of nudging you into this space. And I feel like a lot of artists just, they feel, I don't know. You just like, you have this dream of, you know, growing an audience, putting music out, and you're kind of willing to do whatever it takes. And you know, what I will say is, like, you know, a lot of artists wouldn't have put themselves out there like you did, or wouldn't have had the, I don't know, like belief in themselves or what they were doing, I think, to like push past. You know, that being said, I don't think that you have to, I don't feel like you have to chase trends or embarrass yourselves to compete for attention on TikTok and Instagram. Ultimately, that's what this is about too. Like, you have to be honest about the fact that attention is really hard to come by.
Yes.
Like, and it's really competitive. There's a lot of really good content out there. And there's this concept in the content world that Mr. Beast has, I think, coined. He's called the purple cow effect, where if you're driving along on a road trip and you saw a cow at the side of the road, you probably wouldn't even remember it 30 seconds later. But if you were doing the same road trip, looked out the window and saw a purple cow, it's probably something you would tell a friend about, or you know, like you would remember for days, weeks, months to come. There is an approach, I think, to audience building that is just doing the most extreme, crazy, fringe thing that like just people don't see every day. That's one approach, and that's one way to compete for attention. But what I've heard from you already, and then also in, you know, you took our archetype quiz, our brand archetype quiz, came back with caregiver as a top result. Just to read a little bit about caregivers. Driven by compassion and desire to help others, they want others to feel nurtured and secure, and will defend those who are less fortunate than themselves. Caregivers are often maternity figures found in teaching, charity, and especially nursing sectors. It's a little blurb on caregivers, but like, I mean, that's not really like probably an archetype you would assign to Mr. Beast or to some of these like really larger than life content creators. So I think the question that we need to answer today is, how do you continue to connect with an audience in a way that feels really authentic and genuine for you? And to that, I think that caregiver, your second brand archetype was the innocent, you know, a really caregiver innocent approach to like platform building and connecting with an audience.
And I think the kicker though is, how do I do that in a way that still drives engagement, drives views, brings in new followers, and that sort of a thing. And that's where I was like, oh, well, the purple cow, maybe it's like, you know, doing that gets people in. And I'm like, I don't know how do I hook people in, but still be true to myself in that way? Because that's where I'm hitting my plateau.
Yeah, absolutely. Here are a couple of things that you said in some of the branding prompts that I sent you. You said something to the effect of, I've been creating, posting, and feeding the insatiable algorithm for 5+ years now. It just feels like nothing goes viral or gets me in front of new audiences. Especially this past year, I feel like I'm just posting to the same small group of people and nothing is growing. can you speak to that? Like what do you feel there?
I think there is this one sense of needing to keep, even before I say anything on that, is just so much gratitude for that, for the people who are following me. Like, I am so grateful, and God has convicted me, how he leaves the 99 for the one, that every one person that I can make their day better, I can inspire, is so important. And I think this season has refined me to appreciate that and to love every single person. If I had a video with 5 views, those are 5 people and those are 5 souls that are beautiful, that need encouragement, that could be benefited from the video I made, up to. And I just think, but the issue I think is when it comes to the bigger questions of, but I want to do this full time. I want to build a career off of this. I want to be able to play shows and have people fill that room, and to be able to afford me to come back, to be able to go on tour. So I've built an appreciation for not having the numbers, but now the issue is I keep doing and trying and trying and trying, and the numbers aren't coming. And if they were there, it'd just be so helpful towards my ultimate goals of performance, and like full time. Even just if I could do social media on a bigger scale, that would just give me so much freedom as well. One thing I feel like,
by the way, I totally agree, and I think it's really cool that you have that perspective. Like, I feel like a lot of artists, they're like, oh, I only got X number of views, and I think what I hear from you is just that, like, you value that group of people, and but we do have goals. You have goals.
Yes.
You have career goals. You have a desire to do this for a living. One thing that I feel like really strongly about it, especially around independent artistry, is the idea of 1,000 loyal fans being all that you need to make this a career. I feel like 1,000 loyal fans can set an artist foundation for making a living, for doing this full time, quitting your day job. So while we are looking to like grow the audience, I feel like truly connecting with that smaller group of people, making a strong connection with the smaller group of people. Like, I want your audience to go above and beyond like 1,000 loyal fans. And I share your desire for you to continue to grow. But I think like that small time, or like that approach to like really connecting with a smaller group of people will, like, it feels counterintuitive, but the internet is such a big place. I feel like you really have to niche down to like cut through the noise, and you're ultimately looking for that small loyal group of people, I think, that truly connect with your music and your message and what you're trying to say in the unique way that you do it. So I think it's okay too to like, that you do end up seeing the same names over and over again. And I hear you saying that too. But just for other artists that are listening, I feel like, I don't know. It's the music industry. I feel like, especially, I see this a lot in country music, where the attitude of like country radio, for instance, is that you create music, I think, that's very generic, it's very similar sounding, and it's appealing to like a broad audience for so that one person, a soccer mom, all the way to a young kid, to someone driving to work, like they're all generally happy with like what's on the radio. And if we're stepping into the future, I think like people are going to be able to find and listen to the exact type of thing that they want, build their own playlists. And really the future is being more niche, not more broad. Saying something more specific than something that's broad. And it's important, like we'll talk through this here in a second, but I think it's important to like continue to invite new people into the audience to have viral moments. But saying something really specific and meaningful that's really important to you, I think. You shared a bunch of things in our prep for this call. One thing you said in response to I fundamentally believe in blank. You said loving people well and reminding others that they're not alone.
Yes.
What am I going to change in the world? That is bringing unity, love, and hope to darkness. How will I change this? Sharing uplifting, relatable music that brings people together over shared human experiences and emotions. Being a positive, genuine person. And people that will gravitate towards me are loving, genuine, and kind. Can you fill in any gaps there? Like what do you feel like is it, if you didn't get to do this as a career, if it all got taken away, what did you feel like, dang man, I really wanted to say this. Like I wanted to put this out into the world. What is that?
Honestly, I kind of hinted, and even before you even got into that, I felt like I was like, oh, I want to make sure I say this before we went any further. It is the gratitude, because I think I'm very convicted to be grateful for where I am currently. Even if this is exactly, even if this was the last day of my life, I can be grateful that I've impacted people. I've had stories specifically of people who found me through TikTok live streams, like people who've found me through struggling with health issues. I've had a few stories now of people who were struggling with suicide and have told me that my music has helped save them from that. People who have had my songs play at their wedding and been an important piece of just their lives in different ways. And I think there's just so much gratitude for, as I say, this mission. I mean, yes, I would love to do this on a Taylor Swift level, on a massive level where so many people are impacted. But as I keep coming back to, it's like, but I like, and this is to every artist listening and to any person, whether you're a musician or not, you are making a difference when you are changing one life, and then it's one more, and then it's one more. And as just an example of even just that metaphor is like, I don't know if you've seen Hacksaw Ridge, but that movie like really got to me, and that this man was saving people's lives in war, and he was just going for the one more and the one more. And so that's the one thing that I think I keep coming back to, is that impact is so important. But the scale of it, while is great, isn't everything, because one life is just as special and important as 10,000, as 100,000. And obviously that scale is great, and we should strive for that. And that's why I'm here, is I want to get to that. But it's the word gratitude just keeps coming back to me as you're talking. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that feels like something you should talk about, What else do you, like going back to what I said earlier, like, what do you really want to put out into the world? What do you feel like your childhood and, your adult life up to this point has prepared you to say?
Wow. Yeah, that's a really big thing. I think it's prepared me to say, boldly, to chase your dreams and to pursue God, because he is the everything you long for, and is the ultimate thing that, brings fulfillment to all of our lives. But, even within that, it's to chase the calling, to make the most of life, because we don't know how long we have. And I think even like I had this weird realization about my name, because it's like, it's Aisling and Ashley mixed together. And the word Aisling in Irish, Aisling, means dream. And I feel like even my name embodies what I feel like I am called to do, is to chase this dream and to motivate other people to chase theirs. And if I could motivate somebody, to chase a dream, to start a family, to start a business, to become a musician, to do the thing that they've been itching to do, but they've been afraid to do it. It's like if a girl sitting in her bedroom in central Kentucky can, work her butt off to get where she's going and go through all the highs and lows that come with that, the one thing I would want to tell people is that make the most of this life and chase whatever that dream is for you. And then with the asterisk of to God's glory and like knowing that he is the ultimate thing.
Yeah. What are there examples that you can point to that you feel like people that have inspired you or that you feel like are a good example of making the most of their life?
Making the most of their life. I know there's so many that I'm just trying to think of which ones like on air to say. I think some people that I've really looked up to in the music realm, Sarah Bareilles has been probably one of my biggest inspirations. And I had read her autobiography and just seeing how she kind of just was starting from the ground up, and chasing this dream, seeing where she is now versus where she started. People like Ben Rector, who is very, very vulnerable in his songs about how long it took for him to get where he is. Even more recently, and now someone who I can call a friend, is Jordy Searcy. He's been somebody who just has continued to work so hard, and I would say is genuinely living his dream, and someone that I look up to and hoping that I can live my dream the way he's living his. So I think on the music front, those are some of the big ones. Is
there something that stuck out to reading Sarah's autobiography that you feel like you didn't know about her that you were surprised by?
Yeah. And I think a lot of this is like, as you're having me answer these questions, I think I'm hearing these things. I'm like, wait, these have been in me this whole time. I don't know why I haven't been listening to myself on it. I think for me, it was
honestly, let's just put a pause right there. You don't have to talk to me. You don't have to talk to another social media person or quote unquote guru. I don't want to be thought of in that way, but I mean, really the privilege for me is just to like, I think I said this in the first content audit or content strategy episode that we did. Like, this stuff is already inside of you guys. You wouldn't be pursuing it like you are, really putting yourself out there to go and serenade strangers on the street, to grow your TikTok to almost 16,000, to be committed to this over 5 years. Like, you wouldn't be doing that if there wasn't something inside of you burning to get out. And it's there. So it's really just about accessing that. I share the Christian faith with you as well. And I feel like, it's just my belief that like, this is what we're designed to do. We're given a calling, we're given something inside of us that, like a mission, and whether that's being a nurse or that's being, owning a business, like you talked about, there's something inside of us that we're meant to do. And, it's the ability to dream, to have vision. And I mean, what's cool about working with artists for me is like, you're able to like see that, play out in their stories and then the music that they release, the stories that they put out through their music. So yes, I mean, this stuff is already in you. Hopefully this can just be a space to like access that, pull it out of you, organize it, but it's already there. Like the hard part's done. Like it's yeah. So anyway, just want to say that. Yeah.
Well, and I appreciate you saying that. And I think that's something I need to just continue to remind myself of that. And even to kind of circle back to your question, because the thing I didn't realize until I read her book was like just how hard and how long it takes to get where a lot of these artists need to go. I was genuinely surprised that in her mid-20s, she had only maybe written like, I think it was, I don't want to be quoted on this, but I just thought she had maybe written like 12 songs, or it was like she had written barely anything. But she was, and to the point where she was like writing songs to fill in set lists and stuff. But I was just surprised that she wasn't like a prolific writer since she was like 16. But instead it was almost as if like it was this songwriting for Sarah specifically has always been such a sacred thing for her. And she would write, and it wasn't necessarily as much on like the quantity side, that was more the quality of it. And that she, like, I just was kind of so encouraged by just how slow and steady she was. And like, I was just surprised that she hadn't like started earlier or like had way more songs at a certain point. But at the same time, she worked so hard and for so long to get where she is now. And I think that was something in her story that stuck out to me. And just also like just the timeline, because I was like, you know, maybe a Taylor Swift blew up when she was in her teens, like Olivia Rodrigo or Billie Eilish. But then there's the Sarah Bareilles of the world who, you know, and I don't know, I'm trying to think, I don't know when Jelly Roll and stuff blew up, but I've heard of like other stories of people who like, they go through thick and thin, and then it's way later in life that they finally blow up. And I'm just, I guess, just leaning on that in the seasons when nothing's happening, as I'm like, I hope eventually. I'm just going to keep being slow and steady though for now.
Is there anything you took away from Sarah's book that is kind of speaks to what we're talking about here, of just like she has a mission or she has something important to say, like something that's like carried her through?
Yes, she has a section in the book where she has letters, or she has different excerpts that other people write about her and about their experience working with her. The one that really shaped me the most was a fan had written her a letter and given it to her during the show. And and she read it afterwards. And she explained, the girl here explained how her song Hold My Heart played at a moment when she was thinking about killing herself. And that song was what kept her from doing so. And how she, like Sarah said, she just broke down crying reading this. And she eventually found out who the fan was, got in touch with her. And that fan then later wrote this excerpt in the book about it. And that was something, reading that, as I was like, that is, as a songwriter, that is success, is being able to impact people in that way. And that has like really kept me going. And like I said, and I've had very tangibly, I won't go into details just in public, but there's at least 2 stories I have now. And I'm beyond blessed to have been some sort of vessel to help someone through a suicidal, their suicide journey, and like being saved from that. And I'm like, that stuck out to me. And I'm honored to be able to say that like I have stories like that. And I hope that I hope I have many more stories of like helping people in ways like that.
You said that Ben Rector is vulnerable in his songs. Can you speak to one or two, or what has stuck out to you, or maybe been life-giving in like his songwriting?
His songwriting, his album, I can't remember. It's the album that has the song Brand New on it. And there's 2 songs on there that I've listened to recently as I've been wrestling with all of this and have been sitting in it. There's a song called Fear on that album. And then there's another song called More Like Love that I've really resonated with. I can't remember what, one of them, he says like, spend 10 years on this pavement and I finally caught a dream. And he starts kind of explaining and how it's a terrifying thing. And he really goes into literally just 10 years on this pavement. I'm like, oh my gosh, it took you like 10 years of just touring and touring and touring to get even to the point that you have this album that has your hit song on it. Right. I think it's his biggest one. And it was just like something like that. And how that whole song Fear was about like dancing with the fear that he's been running from. And I only have a few songs out, but I have a song out called Dear Fear. And it's literally about that, of like facing these fears head on until they go away, because you're not going to be able to live your fullest life until you face them. And so it's like really going for it. And then More Like Love has stuck with me because while I am longing for this career, I have to remind myself that loving people is what matters the most. And when it comes to that, whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's the person you're dating or married to. And I've had anxieties on fronts like that of like, how does this career mesh with marriage and a family one day, things like that. But songs like that remind me that ultimately as humans, what's most important are people, are loving people. Not the things, not the money, not the career, not the accolades. Those are great, but they're not what we as fundamentally as humans, we were created for. We were created for love, to be loved and to love. So.
Yeah. All right, Jordy Searcy. It sounds like you've met him or
That's been a really beautiful story.
Yeah. Tell me that.
Yeah. So, it is really crazy because, I remember my first time going to the Ryman. I went to the Ryman in Nashville to go see him open for Dave Barnes. And I was just a fan. I just genuinely, he was doing the pop acoustic kind of a style, but with Christian influence. And I felt like that I was like someone who's doing that niche that I want to be in. And I was just really compelled and inspired by him and his guitar playing, and just had been a genuine fan. And I just remember too, just praying to God, just that, I hope to have a career like him and hopefully much more. But even then, just really like appreciating, I feel like I just saw that he was probably one of the best of the people that I have been following, the one that's doing the independent music route the best. And he has like a very devout fan base, and he's very just genuine, down to earth in the content he creates. And so, long story short, he posts something in 2023 saying, "Hey, I'm going on tour, and leave a comment what city you're going to be in, and I'm going to pick someone to sing a duet with me in that city." And so he picked me to sing with him in Louisville, Kentucky in 2023. And that was just a really incredible experience. And I thought it was just a one-off thing. But he's since kind of started opening up on his social, and let me even, as people are listening, like he literally is currently just doing songwriting classes, and you can just schedule one-on-one with him. But I started to do his one-on-one classes. I did his weekly master classes, and just to the point where I just felt like I got to really kind of bare my soul as an artist to him and explain my goals, what I'm doing. He was encouraging and mentoring me in my songwriting. And over time, I think through that, have kind of built this connection with him. And now, like, he's later on even offered to record a song for me. We're in the process of producing a single together that I'll be putting out hopefully next year. I've gotten to see him a few different times when he's come through Kentucky. And like, I helped work the merch table for him a time or two. So I wouldn't say I'm like, I'm really excited to see like where this connection could potentially go. But having gone from a girl who is just a fan of his music to someone who is doing my best to, help him out, whether it's like stuff related to his shows and things like that, to how he's helping me as a mentor, helping with my music. It's just been a really cool, I just never would have imagined this happening. Just to be able, through the power of social media, to connect with someone that I've really looked up to for so long.
Absolutely. All right. So it feels like there's a through line here. I'm starting to hear of, we've kind of hit on this right at the top. We spent quite a bit of time on it, like connecting with a small, devout fan base. Mm-hmm. And more keeping that spirit. I mean, not obviously like desiring for it to grow bigger and to get, but I mean, I feel like one thing that people love about Taylor Swift is she just feels genuine and authentic, especially in the season that she's in. And, I don't know. They just feel strongly connected with her. I mean, I think you can see that with her fan base, obviously. But Jordy's someone that you've been around, mm-hmm. who's kind of been an example of that, especially as an independent artist. Is that something that you value? It's. I mean, obviously, it's impacted your life. But do you think that is that just something that you like about the career that he's leading, or like the way he's approaching the industry?
Yes, I do. And as I think is like, again, the theme I'm even as I'm saying all this, I think I've been convicted of is it is connecting with people on an individual level, making people feel seen. And it's not just, just singing to a bunch of people and they don't feel connected to you, but they kind of like the music, so they keep listening. I don't know. It is very much like that one-to-one connection. I think, I think that's where it's like, I love it, but I'm like, how do I do that one-on-one, but with more people, that's the issue.
Totally.
But, yeah.
Well, I feel like where you've been is, mm-hmm. doing these trends and kind of like the purple cow approach to attention grabbing or competing for attention. And maybe where you're headed now is more in a, what I hear from you is that you want to encourage and uplift others. You want to spread light where there's darkness. You want to encourage other people to chase their calling like you are. Like, and that'll kind of be the through line, I feel like, of your career, at least over the next 5 to 10 years. But there'll be, specific expressions of that. As you write, like whatever, as you take that approach to your songwriting and whatever music you're putting out, what do you feel like what are you feeling drawn to, like, encourage and uplift others and spread light in specifically right now?
Specifically right now, I think, and that's some part of where I'm wrestling, because a part of me is like, as I'm putting out this music, I'm like, can I share the story of maybe it is being more vulnerable, like with the background of like what's brought me up to this point, trying to share more of my testimony in hopes of encouraging other people. I don't, like, just really getting to, like, I have a song called Make Believe that's about chasing dreams that I feel like really wanting to drive home, like, you can chase your dreams too, like, and that being a piece of it. I think it is. Yeah. Like, I am kind of wrestling with that. Like, even as you're saying it, I'm like, I was like, I think showing how I'm chasing my dream, being really vulnerable with how I'm feeling. I don't know if maybe it's more vlog style content or not. My brain is like, but I'm so used to the clickbaity stuff. I'm like, would people want to watch me just sitting and talking to my phone instead of making it look all, I don't know, visually appealing and cutscenes every few seconds? Right. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm almost like in my head about it, but I don't know if that's what people want.
Is this the next? Well, we're gonna shift gears here in a second to like executing on this. Yeah. This is obviously kind of a accelerated pace for some of this stuff, but like, my goal really is just to show you and others that, like, the ideas, the values that are really the foundation of your brand, they're there, they exist, they're already inside of you. And I think with just a touch of structure and organization, you can apply those ideas and those values to content formats that are already out there, that have already proven themselves, that other artists have used and found success with. So I think that, like, one thing that would be cool to explore maybe in the future, and if I can find one here quickly here in a second, but I don't know, dreams chasing style content, and I think, yeah, your mind goes to vlogging and like really stuff that's like really in the moment like that. But I'm sure that there are artists, and I have an idea of one, that are doing this type of stuff that you can like use as a template to express your own specific take on this. Okay. What is Make Believe the next song that's coming out?
So Make Believe came out in January. I have a full EP. The full EP is called Leaving Make Believe, and that'll be coming out in the summer next year, May or June, ideally. I have a song coming out on October 24th called Same Drive Home, and that one's more about just like being out, like growing up in the same house my whole life, and no matter how far I leave, it'll always feel like those roads stay the same even though I grow up, is kind of the thesis of the song. So then that's not necessarily specifically dream chasing. That's more just like hometown, just, growing up in this area and falling in love with it over and over again, and just seeing other people connect by putting themselves in that nostalgic place. So that's also a part of like branding for that song, and talking about maybe, I don't know if it's more of a vulnerability, not necessarily on the dream chasing side, but maybe a vulnerability and in like growing up, growing old.
Well, I feel
nostalgia.
like to chase a dream, you have to start somewhere.
That's true. Yeah.
And like, so that context is really important. I mean, especially if you're taking the, and I always mess her name up, but Sarah Bareilles, is that how you say it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Bareilles. Really, it's just a commitment to, over your lifetime, spread light and darkness, encourage and uplift others. And all of that starts in with the context of where you grew up in Kentucky. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's right in the middle of the U.S. You know, I feel like I grew up in California. Yeah. And to me, I mean, Kentucky's kind of like feels like a mystical place, honestly. Mm-hmm. So I think there's an audience. Certainly for me, there's at least an audience of one that'd be interested in like, what does that look like? What is it like to grow up there? Really like looking at it maybe as a starting point. Like showing maybe, I don't know how exactly. Did you grow up in Louisville?
No, Lexington.
Lexington. Okay. Yeah. All right. Which is still pretty small, right?
Yeah. It's not Nashville, but it's not like small town with like 3 traffic lights in it or something either. So.
Well, how about let's shift gears here.
Okay.
I'm going to share my screen. So I believe in building content strategy. Just over the last couple of years, I've developed 3 core, like foundational principles that I build strategy with. One is considering your brand. So we've done that. You've taken our brand archetype quiz. Sounds like that's kind of resonated with you, as you know, you do identify with like, I mean, some of this stuff, you know, like it's brain archetypes are built on similar psychological work as like, the Enneagram, the Myers-Briggs test. So it's, you know, it's not like you can approach it with the same, it's not a one size fits all or a cookie cutter way of like, but I think it helps you understand yourself. It helps you understand like what I've tried to do is build this database of content formats. I tag each format that I input into the database with 3 of the brand archetypes. So it just kind of gives me a way of creating almost an instant list of content ideas based on the top 2 or 3 brand archetypes that come back to us from the quiz. So your top 2 were caregiver, innocent. The 3rd was everyman. That's step 1, is consider your brand. So let's start there. I've pre-positioned or I've like added some content formats to this first page here, this dashboard before we started. So let's just look at a couple of these. This was one in particular that are you familiar with Jake?
Yes.
I've really liked this format recently. Have you seen like the Snapchat intro?
Yeah. I guess, is that a filter you can do within TikTok too? Or do you have to do that on Snapchat?
I've just done it on Snapchat. Yeah.
Just done it on Snapchat. Yeah. Okay.
And then download the video. But he uses the Snapchat filter or Snapchat text as like an intro clip and then cuts to what I'm assuming is just footage he's found on the internet. Where this could really work for you, I feel like, is... Well, I'll let you speak to that. What do you feel like there's a way that you could use this format? Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I don't have Snapchat. That's the one social media I don't have. So maybe this is my sign to get it. But I would say even just like, as I'm thinking about this song that I'm about to put out, very nostalgic, is like, maybe there's some sort of hook I can do in like kind of I don't know, just thinking about, you know, what life might be like one day or something, or like missing home. And then maybe it's a cut scene to just like literally the sheer beauty of the rolling hills of Kentucky driving on like during the sunset and just seeing the horses grazing. Like Kentucky's beautiful. Like, I mean, literally it's a video that just said pretty on it. Yeah. And I'm just like, I wonder if maybe there's a way that like I could do something, building a little sense of suspense as to like, oh, what's she about to clip to? And then just have videos of just how beautiful Kentucky is.
All right. Great idea. This is a similar format where I've used this. So that one thing that this format is missing, I feel like, is a little more engaged, like cutting to something that's a little more engaging. But taking that Jake example, using this hook, tried to write a song that captures this aesthetic, and then cutting to. So say the song is about what are some of the key lyrics to the song?
The same drive home never gets old. The farther I go, the more I fall in love with the same drive home. That's the chorus. There's, I guess, some lyrics like visually. There's I'd describe it as like crazy winding roads. That imagery there's a theme that comes back. There's a theme of trees welcoming you home, trees hearing you laugh on your drive, kind of like giving them a personified characteristic in the song. So those are kind of two things.
Yeah. One way that I edited a video like this last night, tried to write a song that captures this aesthetic, and then you can cut to like, for say I was editing it, I would just go to Pinterest and find imagery that like represents Kentucky or my area of Kentucky. So that could either be personal footage or pictures that you have, or you could just find really engaging, vibrant video or even just pictures. I just found this feature on CapCut. What do you use to edit?
I do CapCut.
Okay.
I just don't think I've really done a lot in there. I haven't explored a lot of the features yet.
Yeah, there's this feature called like beat match or something, and you can essentially like have it find the beats of your songs and then match the either video or picture to the beats found in the song. I don't know if I'm using the right word for the feature, but that's definitely something that like it's really easy once you get it to kind of like replicate. Okay.
Yeah, I can definitely check that out.
All right. Seems to be some interest in that one. These are just some that I thought maybe, you'd be interested in if you don't see yourself doing something like it.
Yeah. Like you were totally meant to hear these lyrics. Like I definitely have tried to like do some videos in the past of like, this song is your sign to chase your dream, or like this song was meant for you. Yeah. That kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And I can continue to, I think a part of it is just, I'm like waiting for something to go viral. And I'm like, why do these hooks work for other people? And what am I doing? I want to, hopefully get them to work for me. It's like, is the algorithm just not like my videos? I don't know.
Well, let's watch this video.
Yeah.
Real quick. Okay. So you were meant to hear these lyrics. One thing you could do too, like you don't have to, Spencer actually interviewed him for the podcast, but I know that he's been at this game for a while. He's got a rather large, existing audience. I'm more or less saying it's a little bit easier for him, but one thing you could do is make this more specific, is you were meant to hear these lyrics if blank. But let's watch this video real quick.
Right.
Tim walking down a road, and then it switches to what? I mean, obviously switching to black and white. There's jump cuts. So he's just using tiny little tools, I think, to maintain or sustain the engagement with the video. 3 seconds in, first of all, he's walking. There's some movement. 3 seconds in, it switches to black and white. A couple seconds later, it jump cuts to him closer. These are just little things I think that you can use to sustain the engagement with the video. In this database that I have of content formats, these are videos that have already done well, and there's a reason that they've done well. And really the way that I approach creating content strategy is, all right, if I had to recreate this, really the form structure of the video, like what I'm injecting into it that's original is my ideas, my values, the things that about me that make me one of one. So instead of saying you weren't meant to hear these lyrics, you say you weren't meant to hear these lyrics. You were meant to hear these lyrics if blank. Like you make it more specific to in your song, but then also to obviously the lyrics to your song. You're injecting originality into this format or this template. Mm-hmm. But there are things that these content creators have done that retain attention, that get people through the end of the video, that ultimately they're rewarded with more attention and more reach and more audience. It's really simple things, I think, sometimes, like movement at the front, subtle changes in the video, jump cuts, really like basic, simple things that a lot of really like skilled content creators use that are really accessible,
Yeah, I think I'm the queen of overthinking. So I think a lot of it's, I think I have to do something elaborate, and it's like maybe it is really just subtle things, just like on certain beats of the song, just cutting in a little bit more, changing the coloring. Yeah, I think it's interesting.
Cool. I feel like this is a format that may resonate with you. This is a content creator that I've been using. Basically what it says is, to the person in blank, he says Paris, France, who listened to this song 44 times yesterday. I'm coming through this fall and want to be your new best friend. Ways that I've used this format are, to the person in blank who listened to this blank number of times, I hope you blank. So it's kind of like the idea that someone's listening to this song, and if someone else were to listen to it, what would they get out? What are you hoping that they get out of the song? What do you feel like you could say to the song that you're about to put out that would make sense in that space?
Well, even I might just shift that ever so slightly, because like this is to the person, like I have like a song that people are already streaming. I did notice there was one, my Make Believe, the one about chasing dreams. I'd have to go back and look, but I think I saw recently there was somewhere in Kansas, someone was streamed my song like 125 times in like 1 week or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could literally, yeah. And then I would be like, I hope that you, chase your, like, I hope that, yeah, you like go for that dream, or like that you, I hope you know that you're killing it. Or as I put this other song out to the one who hears it, like, I hope that, you can, just be so much, like, just have so much gratitude for your childhood or your home. I don't know, something like that. I think that's interesting.
Let's try to find one or two more.
And what is your advice in like finding content to then model? Like, do you just, is this like kind of within the For You page and you just keep scrolling, or do you deliberately, like, how do you deep dive into finding these?
Yeah. So, a lot of times I find these content formats in the work I'm doing with my clients. Really what I'm doing is like just keyword searching. Specific ideas. So if I want to create content around chasing dreams, or if I let's apply it to this next song that's coming out. If I want to create content around loving my hometown, or something to that effect, I just keyword search that and find the most successful videos that have communicated that idea. And like, you look through 10 or 15 of them and take 2 or 3 that you liked best. And once I've got those 2 or 3, it's really about just reverse engineering those videos. So, what's a way that I can take the headline or the hook that they used and take out the keywords, replace that with blanks, kind of like I've done here today, and then insert my own ideas or values. And then it's just as basic as like, how long was this intro? 2.5 seconds, 3.5 seconds, 4 seconds. What are they doing in the intro? Are they throwing something at the camera? Are they walking? Are they reaching across their car and setting up the camera in their passenger side seat? And just replicating the format that I see in like this successful, I've heard it called format or template. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think, and even down to something small is like, are they sitting? Are they standing? Is the camera in the same place? Is it moving? Like subtle things.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think like the goal really is not to really overthink like the content creation or like the filming of it. I think you want to like obviously have like a high standard for your editing, and these are things that I think come pretty natural to a lot of artists. Really put a lot of attention into like the ideas that you're trying to communicate. Some of the most successful videos on the internet look like they were filmed with a potato, like they're not like it's not high quality footage. It's not well shot footage. Really what resonated with people is the idea that was communicated. If it's a compelling enough idea, then, that's something that's going to connect with an audience. All right. Let's kind of stop there and move to step 2. The second, foundational element of the way that I build content strategy is that I believe content should be value driven. So it should educate, entertain, inspire, or relate. I think that a lot of times when artists are creating content, it feels they do hit burnout, or they, they do hit a wall because it feels like they're just promoting, and like self-promotion doesn't feel good. It makes you feel kind of, I think, gross. And we just had a guest on the podcast last week, or that released last week at the time of filming this, that wrote a book about this. It's called Networking Kills Success Through Serving.
Is his last name Maxwell?
Yes. Yeah. Mark
yes,
Maxwell. Yeah.
Mark Maxwell. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. And I feel like, the way to serve through your content is to make sure that the intent is to provide value to your intended audience. So in what way does this educate, entertain, relate to, or inspire my intended audience? You've specifically used the word, like, I want to relate. So, I want my audience to feel less alone. I think what I would really try to do is find content formats that are relatable, that do an effective job of communicating ideas that make people feel less alone. And then using those templates, those formats to inject your own ideas, your own values. The third element of the way that I build content strategy is the three pillar approach to content creation. So, ensuring that your strategy includes music content. These are just competitive ways to get your music out there, compete for attention. Brand content. So that's content that's really basically just saying, this is who I am and this is who I'm not. Really carving out a space for yourself on the internet. And then audience connection content. This is content that doesn't have to necessarily exclude your music, but is more about this. I think this really is where you would be communicating really relatable concepts or ideas, and just trying to connect with the audience that you think would appreciate the ideas or values that your music and your brand communicates. We didn't get to a brand content example, but we've got a couple examples here for you of music content and audience, and one of audience connection content. Let's just write one of each before we call it quits for today. You are meant to hear these lyrics if. What would you say specifically speaks to your next song?
The new song, If You're Missing Home.
Perfect. And I really feel like it's that easy. Okay.
Okay.
Like, I think sometimes artists are like, oh, it should feel hard. Like doing this should feel hard. Maybe you'll post this, and something I heard from literally the guy that created this video, Spencer Crandall, in our episode with him, is like he posts videos all the time that flop.
Right.
And that's just part of this content game, is staying true. I think like letting your motivation be one that's about serving your audience. Like that'll be, I think, feel very life-giving, to educate, entertain, inspire, relate to your audience. But, and I think you'll feel less, Mark Maxwell in our episode talked about, when artists have approached him for mentorship around stage fright, a lot of times stage fright melts away when you come out onto the stage with a heart of like just serving the people that are there. There's this pressure that's released that's like tied maybe to like expectations that you have for your time on that stage. I think it's the same way with content, like having it less, having your motivation be less tied to the views that this gets and more so about what is the value that I'm communicating. And obviously, like, we're looking at the views, we're looking at the engagement metrics to inform us on whether or not we're going to do this format again. But it's really about just continuing to try things, continuing to provide value to your audience until something works, until the message is clear enough or accessible enough that like the audience starts to understand it or accept it.
Okay. So instead of it being...
So go ahead.
I was just saying, so like, because that's the thing is, I think a lot of times I'm like, as I put out videos and they don't get a lot of engagement, they don't get a lot of views, I'm like, well, that was like, is that a waste of time? Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Or, oh, am I going to keep doing this and like having these numbers be low? And I think a part of it is like metrics are there to help evaluate the types of content to do more of, but that's it. Like, it's not oh, that wasn't beneficial. Like, that's out in the world. There were people that saw it that needed it, but seeing, okay, but when they do better than others, that's the only thing that matters, is just being able to kind of draw in evaluating. Like, it's more of an analysis tool than because for me, it's the comparison game. It puts me down as like, oh, I'm not doing enough. Is it even, again, like having not posted for a bit, it was just like, what am I doing that's like going to be of any benefit if it's just going to keep flopping, quote unquote.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're not. I mean,
these ideas are already inside of you. Like, these are already beliefs that you hold near and dear. Like, I think now just applying it in this space, it's like, like our goal is not that only 70 people see this video, that's not the goal, but you have to value those 70 people that did see it,
Yes, and, absolutely.
You're not, so it was worth the time and effort that you put into that. I do think if you're doing content that is trend chasey or is less about providing value, more about you growing your platform, like it starts to feel like draining, because you're not, I don't know. There isn't a, I don't know. There isn't a, like, it isn't tied to something bigger than yourself. It isn't, it doesn't serve your mission really. These are the things that I think help you feel successful and make you feel like you're on the right track. Does that make sense to you or resonate?
Yes. No, it does. It's
cool.
Doing it in ways that resonate and valuing every single view. Absolutely.
Okay. All right, last format before we get out of here. To the person in blank who listened to this song blank number of times, I hope you. So what was that town that you referenced?
The town. Oh, I think it was called Crystal Lake. Like, I'm probably gonna end up making a video with this.
Crystal Lake, what?
And Chris, I can't remember if it was Kansas or Missouri. It's like Midwest. Just maybe put Missouri for now.
There we go.
That's not right. And I know anyone who's listening is like, she doesn't know what she's talking about. I'm like, I have to go back and look.
Who listened to this song how many times? Ballpark?
Let's say 125.
Okay. I hope you
never give up on your dream. Something like that.
Okay. I hope you...
Or how do you make it shorter? I hope you keep chasing your dream.
To the person in Crystal Lake, Missouri, who listened to this song 125 times yesterday, I hope you... does this song speak to like stepping out to chase your dreams, or more about like continuing to chase?
It's kind of the continuation. So make believe is about, the chorus is, though this dream may seem like make believe, I have to make myself believe I can make it happen. And like, I'll let people think it's crazy for now, but I'm going to make them all believe I'll make it happen someday. That's what the lyric is. Yeah. Ooh, that's interesting.
I hope you recognize you're one day closer to your dream.
Is there also something to hooks having more words versus less? Because I was always nervous of like, are people going to read all the text or not?
So I think there's a difference. There's a fine line between block text, which is a 7 to 10 second video. You're hoping that it takes longer to read the text than the video is long. There's a fine line between that and just a hook or a headline, I think. In this, we're more so going, I'm looking at it as a block text.
Okay.
So I think it being a little wordier, especially if there's some bite or some meat to it, there's some real meaning to the words that you're writing. I'm okay with that taking more words for me.
Okay. So
just to wrap here, the two other things that are hugely important. I mean, considering your brand, huge part of this, like starting with a foundation of ideas and values that you can inject into these content formats. Value-driven content, entertain, educate, relate, inspire to your intended audience, and then a balanced content strategy of music, brand, and audience connection content. Another thing that, and you've mentioned this, but you were going live for a while. That's one way to engage with your audience. Mm-hmm. Another is to follow similar accounts, engage with content similar to the topic you are posting or you posted today, and then engage with supporters, like the 5 to 10 people, that small loyal fan base that you're building. Like, ensure you're having like a conversation with them, mm-hmm. Like in the comments. I would even go and follow some of these early fans, mm-hmm. get invested into their lives. I think one of the biggest things that artists miss in building a fan base and really like seeing success with their socials is the engagement piece. So I've built this framework that's a 15-minute framework after each post that I think is one way to do it. But spending 5 minutes in discovery, following similar accounts, engaging with content similar to the topic, engaging with supporters for 5 minutes, and then posting to your stories. Those are all things that like really engage with that loyal, like the existing fan base. And that's all I've got for today. Any questions? I mean, I'll send you these 2 formats. You also walk away with an idea bank based on the brand archetypes that you received through the archetype quiz. But anything else? Any outline questions or thoughts before we wrap?
I guess like near the beginning, because we were really talking and leaning into like how to connect with an audience, like in that genuine way. And a part of me is just wondering, say I post certain content and say I try a hook like this and the numbers aren't there still for whatever reason. Is it more prioritizing like the feeling genuine, or like, again, like my brain is so used to going to that purple cow kind of approach? Is it like, if it's not working for a while, do I stick to it and like prioritize the genuineness, or is there a point where it might be worth trying to bring in some more of that, like, I don't know, eye-catching stuff, I don't know, or like something to get people to stop scrolling in a way?
Well, one thing that I see this a lot with artists, so this is really common, but I think it's something simple that you can grab a hold of. Okay. Is like, if something isn't working, like just keep trying new formats. Okay. Just keep trying new videos. What shouldn't change is the ideas and the values and these things that are already inside of you. Like this mission that you have, that you're trying to see furthered in the world through your music. Like that goes unchanging. The way that you present it or talk about it or, create content around it, I feel like you can be really open-handed with that.
Okay. By different formats, what do you mean? Like, is it just like different types of hooks, different types of editing versus like not straying from like, okay, I don't need to go out and sing to strangers now in order to get attention on my TikTok kind of thing? It's like, it's more just how you edit them, or it's okay.
Well, we've talked about this throughout the episode, but like some things that you can do are keyword searches on your ideas. Right. Yeah. The ideas that you're trying to communicate. Find videos that you like, that you enjoy. Save those videos and then do your best to recreate them. Not copy them, but like inserting your own ideas into the format. When I say the format, I mean, all right, I see this video. How would I shoot this if I were to do it myself?
Yeah. Okay.
So he's got this style of hook, even down to, and I'm still sharing my screen here. You were meant to hear these lyrics, pointing emoji, heart emoji, like try that, try incorporating emojis in it. Like hopefully like seeing these, really they're examples. I call them formats just because I feel like that's for me, what's made sense to like, reverse engineer a video. But they're just really examples of like, all right, hopefully they inspire like little ideas that you have. We looked at that video earlier. The first 3 seconds are color and then he switches to black and white. Like just, just try things like that. Let other videos that you've enjoyed inspire the way that you create content. So I think keyword searching. The other is just to find affinity artists. I get a lot of Geordie content. That may or may not work for you, but just finding artists that really inspire you. Look at the type of content they're creating. And then the third thing is find content creators, I think, that really resonate with your, that maybe you would identify as a caregiver or as an innocent archetype, and look at their videos again, see which ones that you resonate with and really enjoy, and then try to reverse engineer them, turn it into a format that if you had to recreate that video once, twice, 3 times, what number of clips would it take? What type of headline or text are you putting over the top? Stuff like that.
Okay. Thank you. That's definitely really insightful.
Yeah. We'll keep talking after this, but thanks for joining me today and being open to like sharing this time and, being vulnerable with your artist project. And I've really enjoyed the conversation.